Hey everybody, figured I'd make a quick little update video. Got the rear end housing in, it's all done. Matt at Performance Fab built it. Jake Tinsley at Tinsley's Custom Coatings coated it. This is the color that we're gonna do the chassis with. This is called Cadillac Gray. And this is the color that we're gonna powder coat like the firewall and whatnot. It's called like Cosmic White. Anyway, it's a floater housing. So I figured I'd take a minute and make a quick video, kind of show you what we did, not what Matt did, and some stuff about brakes. So, 9-inch housing, fabricated, Performance Fab, Matt Smith at Performance Fab built it, right? We've got our parallel 4-link brackets. So here and here's a whole bunch of adjustment, top, bottom. Some people have asked why I didn't go with the 1/8-inch adjustments on the housing or on the chassis. And the reason being is that I'm going to stick with the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. And I don't think we need all the adjustment. I think this will be more than enough. So, and I also don't want to like have Justin and I arguing with each other about what hole is what measurement and whatever. So that's what we're doing. Anyway, studs aren't in it, O-rings aren't in it. Matt built a beautiful housing. And Jake did a fantastic job coating it. So, what is a floater? Well, some people may not know, so I figured I'd make this video to be educational too. A floater, normally, you have an axle that, the splines are in here, going into the spool, and then out here you have a flange. And the flange is what holds the rotor, and then you bolt the wheel to it, and the wheel studs are in the flange of the axle. If that breaks, if the axle breaks, this falls off, which in turn means the wheel falls off. Floater, what you do, you buy a floater axle, and it's got splines here, and the floater hub, and the floater spindle. Sorry, that's the spindle, not the hub. And then you have splines in here. So there's no load this way, like up and down on the axle, right? It's all on a big set of bearings that's inside of this hub. This is the second floater housing this car's had. This one is from Strange. And I wanted to point out something that was a little strange from Strange, right? Strange Engineering. Now, first off, I gotta say that this floater setup is a lot nicer, in my opinion, than what I previously had from a different manufacturer. Nothing wrong with the other one. It's just the way that this goes together is a lot nicer. I'm a bigger fan of the Strange setup than I am of the other setup that I had. But both of those companies are very weird to me. So when you order this, you call, or I call up and I say, hey, this is the part number that I want, but I want to put good brakes on it. So I'm going to put TBM brakes on it, right? And this is up for debate. People can argue about this all they want. I don't really care. You call them sprint car brakes, you call them whatever the hell you want. The fact of the matter is that when we switched the car over to TBM brakes, there was a few times where the chutes didn't come out for whatever reason, right? Maybe I forgot the ARMA, maybe the whatever. Cable was hung up, whatever it is. And we have been 220 plus mile an hour at racetracks where the chutes didn't come out. And these right here on the front and the rear, if it wasn't for them, that car over there would look a lot worse than it does right now. So, I'm a loyalist. I will be using TBM brakes on everything that I have, anything that I have from here on out. So, I call up and I say, hey, I want a floater kit. And retail on a floater kit is like $3,200, right? Or something like that. Don't quote me on numbers, it doesn't really matter. And that comes with these weld spindles, right? So like these weld spindles go into the, weld hubs. They go into the axle tube, and you can there you go. You can see them right there, like where that lip is. You see that machined lip right there? That's the end of the hub, okay? So they slip in there, go into the axle tube. They weld it here, here, here. They're on a jig, yada, yada. Matt does that. He has to machine them down so that they fit inside of the axle tube and has to cut them down because this housing is so stubby, right? So he had to machine these down so that the center section would go in it and whatnot, because originally the hub was like sticking out to here. But anyway, strange, super nice setup. Call him and say, hey man, I know it comes with brakes, but I don't want brakes because we're gonna run TBM brakes. And they're like, oh, okay, just add NB to the part number, right? So I was like, all right, cool. Well, what's the cost of that when we add NB? NB stands for no brakes. This is blowing my mind for like the past month. I just don't understand this. So he says, oh, it's $3,200. And I'm like, what do you mean it's $3,200? It's $3,200 with the brakes. Why would it be $3,200 without the brakes? He's like, yeah, it's $3,200 with the brakes and it's $3,200 without the brakes. And I'm like, okay, so they must just send you whatever junk brake, whatever that they have. Like it's, I assume that you're gonna get something like that's already like pre-rusted. You know what I mean? Like a cast caliper, some junk, I don't know. So I'm like, there's gotta be a way to save some money by getting this without brakes. Because like I already bought the TBM brakes and I don't wanna run your brakes. Like I wanna run your floater, but I don't wanna run your brakes. No man, that's the deal. I said, okay. So I hang up, right? I'm like, whatever. This is weird to me, I don't get it. So I call a friend of mine, he's a dealer for Strange. And I'm like, yo, call them. And this is the part number, add NB to the end of it, and tell me what they say the cost is, right? He's like, all right. He didn't understand. I didn't really give him much information. He calls me back. He goes, this is the strangest thing. Apparently, they don't discount it at all if you remove the brakes. And I'm like, right. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't retarded, which is a strong possibility. So we order it up and they show up and they come with brakes. Now, the reason I'm going on about this is because why would they give you brakes for why would they give no discount for removing the brakes, right? So again, I thought, okay, these brakes are gonna show up, they're junk. Well, this is what showed up. These are their new Evolution 4 brakes, okay? This is what showed up. Now, do I think that they're nice? They're probably nice, I don't know. Won't run them, won't matter. I won't run them. Told them I won't run them. First thing I did when these showed up, these already come pre-installed on the hub, right? Or on the spindle. They already come pre-installed. Step one is remove all these bolts, take this rotor off, right? You take this rotor off, throw it in the trash, and then you put the TBM rotor on. That's like step one when you put together this floater kit. I don't know. I'm sure somebody who works at Strange is probably gonna watch this video and be like, Devin, you're an asshole, blah, blah, blah. We gave you the brakes because that's the way we do things and you should just run our brakes. Not everybody wants to run your brakes. Save the customer a little bit of money, or like maybe charge more for the whole floater kit with the brakes and then just charge $3,200 for the floater kit without the brakes. I don't know, however you want to do it. But it seems crazy to me that you're gonna give me the rotors, you're gonna give me the calipers, and you're gonna give me the pads, and then they give you the, right here, caliper mounting brackets, right? So like it's everything to run the rear brakes, but I'm sorry, no, we run TBM. That's what it is. They work better than anything else that I've ever had. They've saved our ass too many times, so I'm not gonna run your brakes. Really like your floater, super nice. Like way nicer than the previous one that I had on the car. And I'll always promote that. I always promote a good product. But this right here, this is what we use for brakes. Don't know why you gave those to me for free. Anyway, off my high horse about that. Buy TBM brakes. Call, if you're gonna build a floater, or your chassis shop's gonna build you a floater or whatever, or Matt's gonna build you a floater, he'll tell you the exact same thing. Yeah, we're gonna use a Strange floater and you should use TBM brakes on it. But they're gonna give you brakes for free. So, I don't know. These are gonna go in the dumpster. Or maybe I'll hang them on the wall or something, I don't know. Whatever. Look at the pads. Pads are orange, kind of weird, whatever. So I'm done with that. Let me show you a couple of little things. Another thing that people have asked me about, and I think these are bitching. These are lug nuts from Mark Williams, okay? So They're not cheap. They're not super light. They're not titanium. They're nothing super fancy. But I think they're the best lug nut out there. If you notice, the washer, the spacer, is captured on the lug nut. So Mark Williams sells these. Normally on this deal, it comes with these, you know. You got a nut and a washer, a little spacer, and you're at a drag and drive, and you're switching the car over at 6 o'clock in the morning because you want to be the first in line. And then this, you know, you pull this off and you're like, okay, I'm gonna change the wheels, right? And then this off to the abyss, right? Never to find it again. And you're like, shit, what do I do? I'm missing a spacer. What do I do? I gotta carry all these spacers around with you. This, now you have 10 less things to lose total, right? It's all built into one. Mark Williams sells those, super nice. They come with different thicknesses in spacers. All right, a couple other things. These 4-link brackets are pretty slick. They come with the shock mounts already in them. At the bottom of them, right there, is a Pro Jack mount, and then 4-link upper, lower, yada yada. This is the wishbone mount. So because this is not a triangulated 4-link anymore, these bars are gonna come straight forward, right? You need a wishbone to keep the rear end center in the car so it doesn't move. This is the wishbone mount. So there'll be a single bolt that goes through here. The nut's welded on. Another thing, less stuff to lose. And then in the back. So previously, when we hook up the trailer, we had airbags that sat like here well, they sat on the frame rail here, and then when they would, when you'd air them up, they'd expand and push down on the top of this right here. And that worked previously when it was stock suspension because these were moved in. This housing was a little bit longer. We had more room on the top of the housing for the airbag to push up against. Anyway, that's not gonna work now. So what I did was I bought a pair of air shocks from Ride Tech. They're called like Shockwave 8000 or something. And what we're gonna do, Matt welded these 4 tabs on this housing, right? So the way this is gonna work, he's gonna machine a piece of aluminum that goes from here and here, and then it hangs off the back of the housing like to here, and it's gonna be a shock mount. The aluminum piece isn't made yet because we're gonna set the height once we set the ride height of the car with the standard shocks, right? With the actual shocks that we use to race on. So this is gonna go in here, come out here. It's gonna hold the bottom of this shock. We're gonna hold this here and this here with like little 1/2-inch quick pins, right? So that when we go to race the car, we go click, click, and we come up here to the top, click, pull it out, pull the whole shock off of the car, and now we're in race mode. When we wanna race it, we just click, click, bing, bong, boom, there we go. And we've got an air shock. So the air shock is going to be able to be inflated, raise the ride height, take the load off of the racing shocks, and hold the weight of the trailer up, right? We'll do some more videos of this when like it comes time to like fabricate on the car. So I thought that was a pretty slick idea. I didn't want the extra weight of like some big contraption here. I wanted to be able to just, okay, we have 4 tabs, pull the pins. It's also gonna double for if we need to put weight on the car, on the rear end housing, like for traction. Matt's gonna make us a steel thing that goes in here that's got wings here and here, all right, or down, however he does it, right? That'll quick pin in here, right? And then we can bolt weight to that plate. So if we want to hang 25 or 35, 45, 55 pounds, whatever it is on the housing, we can. And it'll just go quick, click, and it won't be a huge pain in the ass to get on and off. So, and then the final thing is, this is something I think everybody needs to do. This is a little jack stub. I work on so many dang cars that nobody ever thinks of this. So you wind up putting a jack on this part of the bar up here, floor jack. People say, well, why don't you just use the Pro Jacks? Well, Pro Jacks suck. They're heavy, they're a pain in the ass. Regular floor jack. So you slide a regular floor jack up underneath it here, and you can jack it up. It doesn't want to move, it doesn't want to bounce around, it doesn't want to slide. That's a move. A little jack stub. Everybody needs a little stub. So And then here's any roll bar tabs up in the top. Anyway, I'll get the rest of all this stuff fitted, whatnot, and then Matt will be working on putting this stuff in the car here very soon. So hopefully somebody learned something about a strange company that gives you brakes for nothing. Which if you get something for nothing means like, is it worth it? I don't know. Anyway, see you.